Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with a preview and prediction for this Week 4 game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and Indianapolis Colts. Let's talk about it. Before we get started, if you guys could like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the site, SteelersDepot.com. Would really appreciate that. So the 3-0 Pittsburgh Steelers against the 1-2 Indianapolis Colts. Pittsburgh on the road for their third time in 4 weeks. Looking at the Colts offense, it has kind of been a little feast famine. You talk about Anthony Richardson. I mean, this kid is so talented, still 22 years old. I think his 21st career start dating back to 2020 at Florida was really a one-year starter there. I think the stats that encapsulate him the most is that he is dead last in the NFL in completion percentage at under 50%. He's around 49%, but he is first in the NFL in yards per completion at over 16 yards. So he's a guy that can air it out, and you hope he makes more good plays than bad ones. This is a game that you have to defend the deep ball, because when Richardson hits, it's with his arm, his downfield ability, and the Colts are pretty deep at wide receiver. They got a good group overall in Michael Pittman, who's been quiet to start, but can still be a threat. The rookie, A.D. Mitchell, tough start for him, but the talent's immense. They got Josh Downs back last week, and then Alec Pierce is having a heck of a start. He's got 2 touchdowns on 9 catches, averaging over 25 yards per reception. He's got 3 catches of 40 or more yards. That leads the NFL going into week number 4. So you better be ready to defend a deep ball. And in some sense, that almost works better against Pittsburgh, because trying to go 10, 12 methodical plays downfield against this defense is going to be really hard to do. You're almost better off hoping you can chunk it and get 50 and 60 yards at a time, put the ball in the end zone. So I'm really focusing on Minkah Fitzpatrick in this game. Can he take advantage of the mistakes that Richardson does make? There's overthrows, there's bad decisions. Can you bait him into, putting a pass where it shouldn't go? He throws crossbody. Can you make a play and make him pay? So who's going to kind of win that battle between the big plays of Richardson and the mistakes? Watching for that with this Colts pass game. Run game is strong, and of course they ran all over Pittsburgh last year. Granted, the Steelers had a lot of defensive injuries, but the Colts didn't have Jonathan Taylor. They didn't have Richardson, who's a run game threat as well, and so the Colts have some reinforcements of their own. Taylor, still probably top 3 talented running back in football, with a blend of size and power and burst and vision. Really good across the board. So Pittsburgh's run defense has been excellent so far, but another tough task against the Colts, and that's where it's going to start for Pittsburgh. Colts run kind of everything, inside zone, power. It's also very heavy RPO. You think about their personality, head coach Shane Steichen. He is RPO coming over from the Eagles. That's what they ran there. Colts are third in RPO usage this season, so trying to defend that is going to be key. Not easy to do, of course, because RPOs you're trying to find where the defense isn't and try to make them wrong each time. But starting with Taylor, stopping them, the run game, and building off of that. Defensively, the Colts are missing some key pieces. Kwity Paye, they're one of their top defensive ends, sack leader on the team. He's not going to play in this one. Kenny Moore, their top slot corner, he's not going to play. They lost one of their other outside corners a couple weeks ago in Juju Brent, so they're certainly hurting here. No DeForest Buckner at the tackle either. He's been placed on IR last week with an ankle injury. So the Colts have been run on. No team has seen as many rushing attempts this season as the Colts. They had a lot of issues against Green Bay in Malik Willis' first start. They were pretty good, though, stopping the run against Chicago, so we'll see exactly what version Pittsburgh gets in this one. This one's a little tough to figure out, and I know Pittsburgh's personality is a little more zone, a little more downhill. I think you can still go heavy and bring in some of your big people in this one, but I wouldn't be quite as downhill, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. They do 2-gap well. The Colts, they got some big interior people. Grover Stewart, they've kind of had some bigger personnel to try to replace Buckner. I think some of the power game, I think some of the perimeter run game, some crack tosses, even some wide receiver runs, which I know is not always the most popular thing, but used sparingly and in the right way with good motion to kind of hold and freeze the defense, I think can work in this one. So I would be a little less duo and inside zone, a little more power and gap. And some of the toss game. I know the toss game wasn't perfect last week against the Chargers, but I think it can have more success against the Colts. For the secondary, it's a very Gus Bradley personality. Their DC, like Seattle, cover 3, a lot of zone, very little man. They'll man up on third down with some other pressure packages, but other than that, they were a big zone personality type of team. They like to play in the box. They put their safety Nick Cross down there. So I think some 1st and 10 play action shots. You go heavy, you bring in the tight ends, troll personnel, and then take a shot from under center, off play action downfield to get some of those one-on-one matchups with Pickens on their cornerback group. That's certain, like I said earlier, no Juju Brents in this one. So I think you'll probably see some of that from the Steelers. And then just Fields, kind of like the Chargers. The Chargers were a zone-heavy team. Can you process? Can you read? Can you find the open guy? I think Fields can do that. He's shown that. But that'll be the mission again in this game. Maybe a little less middle of the field because the Colts play more single high than the Chargers did. The Chargers were more split high safeties, but zone all the same. All right, for my prediction in this one, after being wrong, picking the Chargers last week, I'll go with the Steelers in this one, 23-17. I just think the run game will be successful enough, and I don't think the Colts will be able to play a clean brand of football. They'll have some turnovers in this one. Richardson has 6 picks this year, and if Pittsburgh can be clean, as they generally are, they're doing a better job of that. That's going to be the difference in probably a tight game, and that'll give the advantage to the Steelers. If they lose this one, if Pittsburgh were to, then I think Richardson makes some big plays with his arm. The Colts' run game has more success than LA, and Pittsburgh's run game just didn't quite get it going, would be my thought on that. But I think Pittsburgh has enough here, especially given all the injuries the Colts have defensively. I don't want to assume this win. You certainly never can in the NFL, but I'll take Pittsburgh 23-17. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you guys watching. Again, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the site, SteelersDepot.com. Ton of coverage post-game and film rooms later this week. Thank you again. Let me know your score prediction in the comments below, and we'll talk to you soon.